What do you do when your plan for the day blows up, your plan for the week, your plan for the month, the plan for your life, right? Like we all can very much relate to that. And I think every one of you deserves a gold star for practicing flexibility, particularly in the last couple of years. Yes, I have a cold, in case that wasn't incredibly obvious from my voice. I feel like God has given me the chance to practice this so much more than usual, even. Probably in like the last year between my son's diabetes diagnosis and my assistant being on maternity leave and moving to a new house and just obviously changes in COVID policies with my son's school throughout the year and numerous other things. In fact, my oldest son, who is in preschool, his teacher teaches them about this fictitious superhero called Superflex, and and like his catchphrase or whatever is, I'll just be flexible about that. So I tell myself all the time, I'm like, I am super flex. And I tell like all the other moms at school, like, we're super flex. We are crushing this. So we all get gold stars. We have flexed this muscle. There is benefit to that, right? We have gotten to practice adjusting, but it still stinks. It still stinks. It's hard. I like to make my plans and then have them go the way that I want them to. Duh. Who doesn't? And so what do we do with that when our plans blow up? That's happened to me with a couple scenarios for this week, and even thinking about content videos for this summer. And so the first thing that we do is give ourselves a little bit of compassion. Give ourselves a chance to be like, man, this kind of stinks. That's okay. It's okay to be human and feel that, and to be like, this, I did not want a child with, I did not want my child to have to suffer through diabetes for his whole life. That was never something I pictured, and that is not something that I wanted for him or for me. It's okay to give yourself compassion for that. We don't have to jump right to being super positive and, okay, I'm just gonna proceed as usual. And the next thing we need to do then is we need to stop. We need to pause and we need to reevaluate. So here are like some of my plans for this week. And like, honestly, this is like dramatic effect here, but like I have to completely, I plan out my week in 15-minute increments, my work time when my children are not around. Plan it out in 15-minute increments, and multiple things came up that have like completely changed it, where I have to totally change it all. So that's okay though. But I need to stop and reevaluate, right? I can't just like keep moving forward. If I would just try to keep moving forward, I would use my time poorly this week. I would feel frustrated. And so the best thing we can do here is really check in with, Lord, how do you want me to proceed? Because we kind of have a few choices. We can completely throw away our plans and just be like, I'm just not going to do those things at all. Or we can say, I can do this. Do you hear like the danger in that? I can do this. I'm strong. I'm whatever. I'm resourceful. I'm going to do it exactly the way that I thought I was going to do it before. It doesn't matter if I'm sick. It doesn't matter if, my video editors are not available this week and all these crazy things went down with that. And it doesn't matter if this and that, and I lost work time I thought I was going to have because of things out of my control or whatever. I'm still going to do everything exactly the way that I thought I was going to. And both of those things are options. And both of those things sometimes can be very godly, to say like, even though I had this change into my plans, I'm still going to try to do the original plan. Or even though I had this change in my plan, because I had this change in my plans, I'm just going to give up my plan entirely. But I think, and those are my tendencies for sure. I tend to have a like all or nothing mindset with that. I feel either very defeated and I'm like, well, my goal, like now these goals, it's June 5th or whatever, but the goals that I set for the month aren't going to work at all. So I'm just going to throw them away completely. Or I try to do the opposite of like, well, this huge thing changed in my life, or, something got in the way, but I'm still going to do it exactly the way that I intended to do it before I knew about this change in circumstance. typically neither of those extremes are healthy, because if that thing was valuable in the first place, it's probably still valuable to do it to some extent, even if you can't do it exactly the way you wanted to do it. But if circumstances have changed, it's also probably not healthy to like kill yourself and try to do something that you might not have the resources for, the time for, the energy for, etc. Just to, do it. So even using like exercise for an example, maybe you were in a season of exercising very consistently for 30 minutes a day or, whatever, and something changes. Okay, you can try to keep like pushing yourself to do that, even if it's not working, it's making you grumpy, it's now getting in the way of your time with the Lord because you really don't have time to work out 30 minutes a day and steward the other things that matter. Or you can be like, I'm just giving up exercise completely, right? Like it's just not the time. Or you can choose something in the middle. If exercise is still important to you, maybe it's 5 minutes a day, or maybe it's 30 minutes twice a week. So some of the things that have kind of like shifted for me, oh my gosh, there's like so many. For one, our plans for summer childcare for our boys did not pan out. The person who watches them during the year in her home takes off in summer, and which is great for her, and I completely support that. But then we always are scrambling a little bit in summer to find someone else to watch the boys. And so in the past, it was actually a different neighbor of ours who would watch the boys in summer, and she is not available this summer. She is not able to take them. And so thinking about having to find and hire someone for just a couple of months and train them how to take care of my diabetic 1-year-old. I was like, by the time I do that, it like will barely even be worth it. And so I decided to drastically cut back the amount of time that I will be working for this summer. It's really only like 9 or 10 weeks. But so all that to say, I have been trying so hard to prepare content. So I would have content for every single week of the summer, even though I'm barely working, and like all these things have gotten in the way. And then, like I said, I had 2 different video editors, and like both of them now are having life circumstances where they're not available, and I'm like, now I'm having to hire a new video editor and all these things, so many things. You don't care about all the details, so I don't need to get into all of them. But so in that situation, I could be like, okay, well, I'm just not creating content for summer. Or I could like somehow push and grind it out and stress myself out to be like, no, I normally create a video every week, so I need to do that every week. But what if there's a happy medium? Because I like creating content and giving you guys value, but I also want to be sane and I want to be realistic. And so what I decided is, okay, I'm going to put out a video every other week, which means that I'm already set because I was already like working ahead. And now these last couple weeks of my work time, before I'm down to working like roughly 1 day a week, sometimes 2 days a week, this is the last video that I have to make, and then I'm good because I had worked ahead. So that will be the plan. But I had to stop and like evaluate that because I was feeling anxiety in my body as I was realizing like I'm getting closer and closer to the end of my deadline, and I had buffers in place and all these things. And even so, all these things that were out of my control got in the way, where I was like, I'm just not going to be able to get all the content done and have a new video for every single week by June 10th. And so I hope that is helpful for you to kind of think through that. I had to kind of work through like, what are the options and what are the downsides to these? And sometime maybe I'll share with you some of my decision-making tools. I have like a whole class for that I share with clients, but maybe I'll share like a couple pieces of that with you because I think it's helpful. But again, usually finding somewhere in the middle is the most flexible, is the best way to go, to be super flex and to say, okay, I can't do this thing the way that I wanted to anymore, but I also don't need to give it up completely. So this is something that God has been teaching me so much, which is good because I need it and it's growing me. And I know all of you have your own unique circumstances that cause you to have to practice being super flexible. You have way more kids than me, or your husband's work schedule is really nuts, or your job is very unpredictable. There's all sorts of things that cause us to have to practice that, and to really, man, I think it's such a great opportunity to really check in with the Lord and be like, Lord, how do you want me to proceed with this? Do you want me to, does it glorify you to like really grip tightly to my plans and try to do it exactly the way that I thought I was going to do it? Does it glorify you to just completely let it go? Like, both of those things can at times glorify God, for sure. Or God, are you encouraging me to kind of find a middle road? And that's something like I am going to, after I go pick up my kid from school in a couple minutes, and take him over to our neighbor's house for daycare, I'm going to take those pieces of paper that I chucked over my shoulder. I'm going to replan out the next couple days. I'm going to reset. Not that that means that I'm fully in control of my time just because I planned it out for a second time. But I'm going to kind of find that middle road. I'm not going to be able to do exactly the things that I thought I wanted to do this week because of client sessions changing and all sorts of things coming up that I need to tend to. I'm not going to be able to do everything I wanted to do, but I'm not going to just like give up and throw in the towel and be like, oh, whatever, this week is a crapshoot. I'm still going to steward. That's my timer to go get my kid. I still am going to steward my time well and do what I reasonably can. So you will see videos from me this summer, new videos every other week for a few weeks. So I think there will be like 4 or 5 weeks where I do not have a video because I went in and replanned it all out and spaced the videos out, so that you're covered for at least every other week, but you won't see one every week. And then I will be back with weekly videos for you, I hope, in fall. So, all right. I love you guys, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.